On here with you again live. Happy MLK Day. In fact, in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I thought I would read a quote of his that I really find meaningful to me. And that is, faith is taking the first step, even when you can't see the whole staircase. So sometimes we have to take action or take a step in whatever we're working towards, moving towards, even if we don't know what the full picture is going to look like, even if we can't see the full outcome of that. So I'm encouraged by that on this MLK Day. It's cold MLK Day here, at least in Minnesota. It's like -1 degree and like -20 wind chill or something like that. So if it's cold where you are, I'm curious, how cold is it? Let me know in the comments. I'd be entertained to hear that. But if I'm looking over here a lot, that's because my sweet little one is over here eating crackers with me. But anyway, today we're going to talk about matching pitch and why do some students struggle with matching pitch and some students don't. And that's a great question. So let's talk a little bit about why, and then in a few days, I don't know exactly which day yet, but soon I will talk about some of the strategies that I use to address this issue with my students. So let's dig into why do some students struggle with pitch. And really, let's talk about pitch as far as what does it take to match pitch. There are two main things that are impacting whether someone can match pitch. That is a hearing or their ears, and then it is their voice itself or the coordination of their voice. So if a student or anybody, if a person cannot hear the pitch correctly and hear if their voice is actually making that pitch, then they're not going to be able to tell if they're matching pitch and actually successfully match pitch regularly. So that's a hearing issue. And even if their voice works really great, they can coordinate their voice to go high and low well. If they can't accurately hear it, then they're not going to be able to produce that sound. On the flip side, if a student is struggling to coordinate, so let's say their voice is changing or they haven't yet learned how to make their voice go higher and lower accurately, then they might be able to hear that their voice is not on pitch, that you get the pitch that you give them, but they aren't able to actually coordinate the muscles and such that are involved to be accurately able to match pitch. So those two factors are some of the biggest factors. Now, if you work with very small children or middle schoolers in particular, those two groups of people in particular are going to struggle more with matching pitch than your average person, and older people, like people like geriatric ages. So those three categories of people, the very young, the very older, and then the students, the people that are in that voice change category, or their voice is growing, changing, and they're like, what is going on? Whether that's a hearing issue or not. So I have some boys in my choir, for example, who they're learning to coordinate their voice. That's a little bit of the piece of the issue, but a lot of it is that they're hearing their voice differently than they used to. So it's because it's dropping, they hear it at a new octave than they're used to hearing it. And so actually it has to do with hearing how their voice is making a pitch, just like and matching it with the pitch that I give them on the piano or something like that, or another student. So I'll use other students as models a lot, but I'll get more into how I work with that in another video. So if you are interested in that and you're like, hey, that was cool. We talk a lot about this in the Freelance Music Teacher Moms group and also on my YouTube channel. So you can check that out. Subscribe if you find that is going to be useful to learn about more down the road. But I wanted to give you, in the description of this video, I put an example from my own choir. This past week, we had our first rehearsal back after Christmas, and I'm so excited. I think I have all of my boys, I think there's 8 or 9 of them so it's almost half of my group. This particular group, I have a few different choirs, but this particular group, I think I have almost half of them are boys. And I think all of them were actually able to match pitch and sing in tune for the first time this year. So that was a pretty exciting moment for me. We used a resource from Roger Emerson, who is an amazing teacher who works with middle schoolers, but he arranges a lot of things as well. And he put a resource out called Rounds Plus. I forgot mine over by my piano, so I can't show it to you right now. But if you check out the link in the description of this video, you can look into a little bit what that looks like and things that are included in it. And that has been a really great resource for me in working with my changing voices and getting them to be with me. So anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day and check back for more. Happy MLK Day. Oh, I forgot to say when I was sharing my MLK quote, if you have an MLK quote that you really love, I would love to hear what it is. So feel free to share that too. Have an awesome rest of your day. Bye for now.